Welcome to Graya Overload. I'm Anthony, and Intel has announced another security flaw called Foreshadow. Foreshadow, which is an L1 terminal fault. And let me know if you want me to do a video dive deep into this. I've been starting to look at the white papers and everything else on it. But otherwise, I'm going to post a link below from Red Hat that they did a really good job on the explanation of it in a nice simple video. But just to go into this a little bit, is basically it's another speculative execution, kind of like Spectre and Meltdown, and it speculates in the L1 cache. Basically, is able then to try to go get after the page info and read your data out of memory. Basic type part of it. So this is going to be affecting a lot of people overall, I think. Now, Intel said that if you're a user, you shouldn't be really too worried about this, and then, unless your computer's already compromised. But if it's not, you should be okay. Where this really comes into play is cloud providers, data centers, stuff like that, where they're running, hypervisors or virtual machines, VMs, and that, you have multiple VMs and, data centers that are public, especially because then somebody that you don't know could be running right next to you, and then this execution can happen. And this execution, one of these, there's three of them in total, or four, and one of them also uses the whole, maybe all of them do, but uses the hypervisor side of it, so or the threading side of it. So a lot of CPUs today, AMD, Intel, are all threaded, so you can run two threads through one core, basically, to keep it kind of simple on that aspect. And what happens is with this is that that other thread, in this virtualized environment for VM hypervisors, you could be running your VM that's you would think was secure, but then somebody else with that had a compromised VM in some way gets in on the same car and is able to execute and get the data out of that, out of your system, then compromising your system and the data on your system. So that's where the flaw kind of gets a little bit like, ooh, wow, if I have something, I got to make sure I got to, secure this up. And cloud providers, OS, everyone is going to have to kind of, also pick up this and do some development on this, and do some implementation, releasing all the microcode updates that Intel is releasing now. OS updates are probably going to be pushed out here fairly soon, if not already. I think Microsoft had some of their stuff get out here recently. I don't know if Linux is out yet. I would have to check that. But Intel also has some things that everyone should do for the OS developers and driver developers to make sure that this is going to be secure, based upon filing kind of like their microcode updates and everything else. So, or it should be fixed, I should say, not secure, as we could find another flaw tomorrow. We never know. So Intel's taking initiative. Intel seems to be like they've been actually taking pretty good initiative, especially with all the security flaws that have came out, and actually proposed solutions or got solutions for them in some way. Now, I want to say to all these hackers out there and everything else that have been putting forth effort to get these and then get this data into Intel's hands, good job, because that's part of it, right? Trying to find the bug and then reproducing it and then getting it to Intel so they can fix it. But all these cloud providers, Microsoft, OS providers, Linux, they're going to all have to go through and kind of now fix up what needs to be fixed up in the OS, and then release and get it all out there so that these can't be executed in the big data centers that are out there that, people are relying on to be secure so that they don't lose their data. So, it's a very interesting time right now. Right now, I think that we're in a time where it's patch. Oh, another patch, and we just got to. We're constantly going to be rebooting and patching. That's the world we're in right now. And as we go forward, hopefully that some of these things can be more mitigated, and we don't have to patch as much. But even with hardware designs going forward, we're going to have to look at, I think, from my perspective, not only a thing on performance, but also in security, and how they both go hand in hand, so we can get better security and also better performance at the same time moving forward. So it's going to be interesting to see how all these hardware providers like Intel, AMD, ARM do that and still makes item or hardware secure, as well as getting, all the software providers for the OS and everything else, drivers, to have secure software as well. As a software developer, I know that's hard as well. So it takes a lot of effort to do. So with that, I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time to help this channel grow. I really appreciate it, and everything that you do to help this channel grow. It means a lot to me. And until next time, don't forget to like and subscribe.